Good morning, YouTube. How you doing today? I'm doing my first video game video. So if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please click that like button. Like talk about physical media, video games, any man cave type of things you're into. If you got a lady cave, please tune in. Talk about any type of home entertainment type stuff. So if you're into that type of thing, please click the like button. Please click the subscribe button and show that support of the channel. Today I just like to talk about the series Resident Evil that's been going on for years now. I've been a fan of the Resident Evil series since I can't say of day one, but I was introduced to the season when my parents purchased me my first PlayStation 1 back in like 95, 96. I believe it was like 96. I was a preteen and I was excited. It was on Christmas Day, and one of the games that actually came with the with my games, since my parents brought me a whole bunch of games, probably like 10, 15 games to, when I got the PlayStation. And Resident Evil 1 was the first, one of my first games I ever had, and I knew nothing about it. And ever since I played the game, since then I've been a fan. I ain't really played as much as my dad. My dad, he was more intrigued into the game more than anything, and then I ended up falling in love with the game series and my brother and so on. And so I like to keep playing those type of games. The game's been going strong for the last few years. It had a little slump, but the quality of the games have gotten better, and the story continues. And I like to share my top 10 favorite Resident Evil games. Well, I don't own every Resident Evil game in the series. I haven't played every game in the series, so I'm just going to say the top 10 games I have played Resident Evil in the series that I love to play, and I continue playing, and I still have in my collection, and some of them I haven't even finished. So I just like to talk about those games and give you my top 10 list. I went through my collection last night, and I found out I have a total of 12 Resident Evil games in my system. In my collection, and I think I only played I won't say I probably completed probably like 7 or 8 of them, but I have played to give my opinion and put in my top 10 and complete my top 10 list, if that make any sense. But I like to go ahead and share my list. I have 2 that I set to the side that I put as an honorable mention, that it didn't make it to my top 10, that I wasn't really a fan of, but plan on playing them and finish, just to say I finish the game in the series. Like, again, I am a fan of Resident Evil 4 Remake that just came out Tuesday, and I haven't grabbed it yet, but I'm planning on grabbing it later on down the road. The game is pretty high, like $70. If anybody know me, I like to wait for a sale or wait till an opportunity to grab it. So that being said, I just like to get my just pretty much like a little celebration video of going over my top 10 Resident Evil games that I have played. Not that I feel like is the best out of all of them. I'm pretty sure there's some out there I haven't played yet that's probably better than what's on my top 10, but I just like to go with my top 10 list. So I just like to get that out. I don't think they the best Resident Evils in the whole series, but I'd say it's my personal top 10 list of Resident Evil games, and I like to share my personal list with you. So I'd like to mention my 2 first honorable mentions. I have them right here, and first one I'm sharing with you is Resident Evil Code Veronica X on PlayStation 2. I remember playing this game on the Dreamcast. Mostly my dad played it the most, but I was able to get the Veronica X on the PlayStation 2, and my opinion to it is okay. It didn't make it to my top 10. Like, it does have 2 of my favorite characters in there, Claire Redfield and Chris Redfield. But besides that, the story is okay. The controllers is kind of like, when I was playing it as a kid, it frustrated me because I couldn't angle, the gun correctly to shoot the villains. But at the same time, like, besides that, it was an okay game. These one of the games I haven't finished, but I have seen been watching my dad play it on Dreamcast. I know the stories are two different stories. They Veronica X have a little extra to it than the original Resident Evil Veronica. But I'm planning on jumping on here. I don't know when, but with everything I have with school and work, and I have my kids, I might jump on it one day and try to finish this up. I still have my original memory card from where I left off, and I was lucky to go to a thrift shop and they were selling tragedy guides, and I was able to find a Veronica X tragedy guide, and I was like, perfect. So I might honestly restart it just to get a refresher and go from there. But Veronica X made it to one of my honorable missions, and that's that. The next one is Resident Evil 6. This came off. I only brought this like literally when it first came out because I played Resident Evil 5, which I beat, and I was like, you know what, 6 came out, I'm going to go and follow up. Now, when I was playing 6, controllers and everything was set up pretty much the same as Resident Evil 5, but that wasn't really the reason why I didn't put it in my top 10. It was just I wasn't really getting into it as much as I was when I was playing 5. 6 was okay. It's a 2-disc long story. You playing multiple different characters. Some of the characters I didn't really like. They have my boy Leon in here, which is my favorite character out of everybody in the Resident Evil series, right behind Chris Redfield. But it was just to me a little too sloppy, a little too the story was just too crazy. It was just Resident Evil story is crazy in the beginning, but it was just too sloppy for me, so I had to put it in I didn't make it to my top 10. I didn't finish the game. I put it with the Veronica X. Wasn't really into it like that, but I do have, I went to a thrift shop and I also found a treasure guide for Resident Evil 6, which I'm planning on playing later on down the road and finish this up too. So this is my second honorable mission. I got it on Xbox 360, and I still have my original 360, worked perfectly fine, and I'm planning on playing it and finish it up. So I know I also have the Xbox Series X. I know I don't have to have the 360, but I don't really throw any of my old game system away. I'll go over that in another video, but planning on jumping on this and finish this up just like I did 5. All right, so now, done talking to my honorable missions, let's go into the top 10 of my favorite Resident Evil games that I've played. Number 10, Resident Evil 5. First game where you can play 2 players. First Resident Evil game, you can play 2 players in. You got Chris Redfield, you have Serena, I believe, or Serena, I can't remember her name. But I enjoyed the game. I beat the game. I was impressed with the graphics. It was Resident Evil coming back, right? It was Resident Evil 4. A few years after Resident Evil 4 dropped, became the game of the year. It blew everybody away. Resident Evil 5 came out. It wasn't as good as Resident Evil 4, but I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the game. There's a lot of backlash about it was in Africa, and then I didn't really like the ending of how Wesker was killed. The whole volcano thing was kind of crazy, and yes, I do realize Chris Redfield broke up a boulder with his fist. I know it's a video game. I expect a little silliness. Some of it was silliness, but I still enjoy the game. It's number 10 on my list. I still have the original Tragic Guide because I brought the guide in the video game on the same day. The guide is not in the best condition, but it's still usable. I haven't played the game in a long time, but this is the original game I brought at GameStop. I'm happy to keep it in my collection. It's a little banged up, it's a little hole right there, but the game worked perfectly fine. I still have my original game saved on my Xbox 360, so I can play it whenever I want to. So again, Resident Evil 5 in my top 10 is number 10. Alright. Number 9, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Graphics is great. I was happy as hell when I found out they was remaking the Nemesis Resident Evil 3, but I was kind of disappointed to hear that the game was short. I haven't finished this game, but just to hear that they cut a whole lot of the game out. I understand when people do remakes, it have to be a little bit different than the original, but making the game short doesn't really help at all. Probably could have had a little bit more to the story than the original, but it was okay. I understand, I get it. Guess it was the time frame where they had to hurry up and get this out. I guess I don't know, but Resident Evil 3 remake, the graphics was good. I liked the game. It was okay. Honestly, I haven't finished it, but it was able to make it to my top 10 list to a point where I enjoyed it. With Jill Valentine and the Nemesis. Nemesis probably one of my favorite game villains, and I enjoyed the game. So Resident Evil 3, my number 9 on my top 10 list. All right, we're going to number 8. Is a double pack. I put them both in the same category because they both, came in a double pack. But I have Resident Evil Origins Collection. I seen both of them on the same disc. You have the original Resident Evil remake, and you have Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0 I played a little bit of, I haven't finished it. Resident Evil remake I played a little bit of, haven't finished it. So I'm both, haven't finished both of them. Resident Evil 1, the original remake, is almost the same copy of the original Resident Evil, but better graphics, and the story changed up a little bit, and some of the villains changed up in here, which I love. They kept it as like the original, but they changed a little bit. That's what I love about remakes. If you're able to keep the original story and change, just put a little twist in there, put a little extra in there, answer some questions that they didn't answer on the original. That's what I love about remakes. They made it in its own, and I love it. 0, it's okay. I still got to continue the story. Like I said, it's hard for me to judge it because I haven't finished it, but it's okay. I was somewhat involved, emotionally involved in both of them. Like, I want to finish both, but it's okay. It made it in my top 10 list to a point for where I enjoyed it, compared to my 2 Mission Honorable that I presented to you earlier. But I like these 2. I grabbed this collection at GameStop. It was only for like $25. I remember when it came, the Resident Evil came out on the GameCube, and I thought it looked great, and I was happy that they remade it. It was only available on the GameCube, and so when I seen they put it on Xbox 360, I had to grab it. Xbox One, I had to grab it. And same with Resident Evil 0, little side story, so we put a little bit more on the other side than having the Chris and Jill Valentine version. They have Rebecca, and I forgot the one guy here, I forgot his name, but other side story. So I like stuff like that. It show a little different point of view than Jill and Chris point of view, if you familiar with the Resident Evil series. So which I was surprised I went through a thrift shop and I found Resident Evil 0 Tragedy Guide, so I can go ahead and play this anytime I want, which I will go back, probably restart it and start all over, start off fresh, and now that I have the guide, so I'm gonna give these a replay. So I got these 2 coming at number 8. Alright, number 7, have Village, Resident Evil Village. I played this game a bit, haven't finished it. I know y'all, there's a lot of Resident Evil games I haven't finished, but love the game. I love what I've seen so far. I ain't gonna stay too long with this title because I haven't gone too deep into it, but I love for what I've seen, and planning on finish it soon. But the Village, it made it to my number 8. Again, like I said, number 7, I'm sorry. Only reason that it's there because I haven't went too deep, and I'm pretty sure some people who played this one gonna say like, man, you need to be higher on your list. But again, just my personal list of my top 10 Resident Evil games that I played, and for what I played it made it on my top 10 already, even though it's fairly new. And some of these older titles that I'm gonna present, this Village might be better once I continue the story, so it might boost up. So I might do an update later on down the road. You never know. I might boost it up. Shoot, I haven't played the new Resident Evil 4. That might end up in my top 10 as well. So, but Resident Evil Village, all right, it's in my top 10. All right. So I went through 1, 2, 3, 4. So alright. This is number 1 minute. Can't count today. Alright, so I did 10, 9, 8, 7. So this is number 6. Alright. Number 6, Resident Evil Biohazard. Came out before the Resident Evil Village. This is right before. Now, this is before Village is because this was the first, if y'all played Resident Evil games, it was never a first player vision, but this started the whole first player thing, and I thought I was gonna like it, but I ended up liking it. I'm loving it. I love the Biohazard. I love the story. Give me the Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of vibe in the beginning, and it was crazy. Like I love this. I love this game, and it made it to my top 10 easily. It wasn't even a thought about it. I like this story. I like the simple fact is they have one of my favorite characters popping up. If you haven't played this game, I'm not going to tell you much. Go ahead, check it out. Biohazard, you won't be disappointed. So check it out. All right, so we down to my last 5, and these are the top 5 games of my Resident Evil collection, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the original Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation. I fell in love with this one a long time ago, back when I was a teenager. I was dedicated to it. Every time I came home from school, I played a little bit at a time, and I love this one, so it's definitely my number 5. The case, I know, don't have no cover art on it. This is how I got it. And honestly, I forgot. I think I did a game trade or whatever, because I was becoming a Resident Evil fan. And my friend, he got rid of it. I told him I'd take it off his hands, and that's why I got it. Planning on probably getting another version of it, because I tried playing it and keep getting stuck at a certain spot, and I don't want to keep a game that doesn't work, so it's pointless. But I'm planning on grabbing another copy. It's just really hard to find the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis copy. But it was a no-brainer to pick this up and put it in my number 5. Jill Valentine, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis running around the city killing All-Stars members, and it was kind of frightening when I was a kid. Like, Nemesis would pop out of nowhere and just trying to kill you. So if you haven't played the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, please check it out. You will love it. The story on here, a lot longer than the remake, so I'm just giving you a heads up. It's not one of those you can play Resident Evil 3 and finish it in a few hours. This one's it depends on how dedicated you are. I ain't gonna say you can't finish it in one day, but it is slightly longer than the other Resident Evil. So check it out, Nemesis, the original. Number 4, Resident Evil 4. The original Resident Evil 4, game of the year when it first came out. I was a late guy to playing Resident Evil 4 and kept saying like, dang, Resident Evil 4 while I was game of the year, and when I finally played it, I get it while I was game of the year. It started it all. You would play Resident Evil 5. I played Resident Evil 5 before I played 4. When I finally came to 4, I can see where 5 got the gameplay and everything from. Got it from 4. 5 is slightly better, which I, of course, expected that. You fix the little bugs that you wanted to fix in the next one, and Resident Evil 5 is a lot smoother than Resident Evil 4. But I don't have the PlayStation version, but I have the Xbox One version that came out. They brought it on the Xbox One version with high definition and all that stuff detailed. I love the gameplay, I love the story, and then plus I had my favorite Resident Evil character, Leon, starring in it, and been a fan of Leon's for the longest. Continue being a fan. So when I heard he came out with Resident Evil, they did a remake. Of course, I had to grab it, and I will grab it. So I'm gonna grab Resident Evil 4 remake, and put along with this one. So Resident Evil 4, you haven't played it, please play it. It's a classic. Honestly, those will put Resident Evil 4 back on the map, and then everybody been playing Resident Evil ever since. Resident Evil been popular, but Resident Evil 4 opened it up a little bit more. But check it out, Resident Evil 4. Alright, down to my top 3. It was hard making this list, but I'm happy with the top 3, and I'll stay with my top 3 till further notice. Alright, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Love this game. Honestly, I just finished Claire's story, and now I can focus on Resident Evil 3 and finish that one up. But Resident Evil 2, I love this remake. I fell in love with it as soon as I bought it. I did not want to get off of it. As soon as I started playing it, I did not want to get off the game. I love it. I love the remake. They did a great job on this one. Kept it to almost to original, but it made stuff a lot better, a lot easier. And the gameplay was wonderful. It was nice and smooth. The stories are perfect, and graphics can't get no better. And the HDR and the 4K definition, the Ultra HD, the sound, everything is perfect. Resident Evil 2 Resident Evil 2 Remake is a classic. Please, if you haven't played this, please grab it. You love this game. It's one of my top, in my top 3. I have 2 other games that's ahead of it. If it wasn't for those 2, this probably would have been my number 1. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Alright. Oh, and I have beat Leon and Claire yet. Just to let you know. Alright. Number 2 on my list. The original Resident Evil on the PlayStation. This is the director's cut. This is the original case that I had, that I told you the story of when I had the PlayStation 2. This is it right here. This is what's number 2 right here. The only reason it's number 2 is because, one, I remember when I got this game, I ain't knew nothing about it. But I can tell you one thing, this scared the shit out of me. I ain't knew nothing about Resident Evil till I popped this game in. And the DualShock, the controllers, the zombies, like I did not fuck with this game at all. So it took me a while, but when I got older and I started enjoying games more, I started respecting this game more for what it done. It did its job. Had a kid skid out his mind, and my dad, he loved it. He played it. I sat there and watched him play it for hours, and that's when we became a real fan. So this game right here started it all, and I had to put some respect on it. But I have played it. It's a nice game. It's a classic. Can't get no better than this. Start with Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, their characters, and I love this game. I'm glad to have it in my collection. I'm glad I can jump on it anytime I want to. It works perfectly fine. Only thing I need is the guide. I know everybody say you can jump online. I'm old-fashioned. I like to buy the books and look at the books and go through. That's just me. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I know you can do it online. It's a lot cheaper and stuff, but I enjoy to look for them and find the books. Complete these games. It's part of my whole collection. It's the things I do. But Resident Evil original, number 2. Number 1 Resident Evil game that I love in my collection, that is in my top 10 and haven't been knocked off yet, is Resident Evil 2. The original Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation. I got this for Christmas, probably about a year after it came out. But I played it before over my friend's house. I loved it. I said I had to get a copy. My parents finally gave me a copy on Christmas Day, and I've been playing it ever since. I think I beat this game I can't even keep track. Probably like 8 or 4 times. I can't remember. I know once you beat it, you get the unlimited shotgun shells to make the games even more fun. You go around just blasting zombies. Easy. Run through the game real quick, real fast. Enjoy the story. I love Resident Evil 2. It will always be my number 1 for right now. It is my number 1. This is when I fell in love with the character Leon. That's when I fell in love with the character Claire. But Leon be my number 1 guy ever since. And I just love this movie. It's a movie. I love this game. Can't get no better than the Resident Evil 2. Honestly, Resident Evil 2 made me fall in love with the series. That's when I started really paying attention to Resident Evil and wanted to play more and understand the backstory and want to watch the movies. Resident Evil 1 introduced me to the game. Resident Evil 2 made me fall in love with the game series, and I've been with it since. I understand there's a hella series out there that I haven't played yet, which I thought about picking up and playing more of the series. But for right now, these are my 12 games that I have in my collection. Plan on playing them and continue the gameplay of the Resident Evil and enjoying the series. I appreciate y'all here, looking at my list. I know it's a long video. It's about almost 25 minutes in. I do appreciate you if you're still here with me. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for liking or subscribing for my channel. If you haven't, please do. Please show that support. I like to bring up, talk about more games and movies and any physical media or video games or retro games. I have more playing on, making and posting. So if you're into that type of stuff, please click that like button. Please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and talk to y'all later.